I'm here to explain why dog training with recallers is a recipe for great success, and success on many levels. We credit recallers courses with helping us achieve many obedience titles on our obedience trial champions, Vari and Lizzie, and for creating a great foundation for our 1-year-old puppy, Tubi. All of them love and excel in their training with the help from Recallers online classes. But really, Peppy is the star, and here's his story. Peppy was adopted by my parents at age 3. They walked him on a flexi, and he essentially had no manners and no recall. My parents were in their late 70s, and I wasn't changing them. 3 years later, the story gets very sad. First, he lost my mom, and 8 months later, he lost my dad. So Peppy and their second dog, Princess, came to live with my husband and I, and our pack of 5 dogs. When Peppy arrived, he would wander down through our property alone, under the gates and through fences until he was out in 80-plus acres of orange grove we back up to. The orange grove has coyote and hawks. Exciting territory for any dog, but very dangerous for a Papillon. Several times he ended up under the gates and on the road in front of our home. Very nice people stopped and picked him up and honked their horns and luckily delivered him safely back to our arms. But that's when we knew we had to take action. By happenstance, Susan was advertising Recallers. I enrolled in Recallers, and we did the first 18 days of training. Then I had to go on a trip out of town. It was an important trip I couldn't miss. It had to be my sister's to clean out my parents' home. Driving the 2.5 hours to their home, I knew I was headed for heart-wrenching days ahead. But I was more concerned about leaving Peppy behind with my husband. I had worked Recallers with Peppy, but my husband had only been able to help a few times. I was still really worried about Peppy getting out or that he would just be an aggravation to my already overburdened husband. But to my surprise, there were no bad reports, only good ones. Peppy was listening and coming when called and sticking closer with the pack when walking. Wow. More than I could have hoped for with only a little more than half of the coursework completed. We completed the rest of the coursework upon our return and still occasionally play the games to keep a good spirit about recalls.
Yeah, the sheep came too.
At the end of the day, Susan, all we can say as a family is thank you. Thank you for every version of Recallers, because Peppy is the last part of my parents we have, and we'd like to keep him safe and sound a lot longer. You helped us achieve that goal. All of the goals mattered, but this very personal and special one was the most important.
Good boy, Peppy. It's a good boy.